What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, I'm going to give my prediction for the big game this weekend against the Ohio State Buckeyes versus the Michigan Wolverines. But if you haven't, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. And by doing so, it greatly helps out my channel and it helps me grow as a content creator. I look forward to this game every year, guys. Big matchup between two blue blood programs, and you got the Ohio State Buckeyes going against the Michigan Wolverines, and I'm gonna break down the stats for both teams. Of course, everybody knows Ohio State has C.J. Stroud at quarterback, a phenomenal player, a great quarterback. He's thrown for 2,991 yards on the season, and he has 35 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. So uh, he's all you can ask for in a quarterback, and he's been playing phenomenal this whole season. And definitely the head, the leader of that Buckeye offense is very explosive. And on the other hand, Michigan has J.J. McCarthy. He's thrown for 1,952 yards with 14 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So early on the season, Michigan was trying to figure out who was going to be the guy. And J.J. McCarthy ended up being the guy. And he's done a phenomenal job for Michigan so far. Both teams are undefeated. This is going to be a huge matchup to determine who definitely cements a spot in the playoff. So it's a lot going on in this game, guys. A lot on the line, and both teams have great quarterbacks at the quarterback position. On the other hand, with the running back situation, both teams are battling with some injuries right now. If I'm not mistaken, I haven't seen Travion. I think it's LaTravian Henderson. I think that's the running back name for Ohio State. I think he's been banged up. They have Mion Williams, who has 783 yards and 13 touchdowns. So both of those guys are really, really good. Like I said, I think both teams are banged up at the running back position, but Mion Williams has definitely stepped up for Ohio State. Like I said, he's a really good running back. Michigan, on the other hand, has Blake Corum, beast of a player. I think he's battling some injuries right now, but so far he's ran for 1,457 yards and 18 touchdowns. So if he's not able to go for this game, that's going to be a huge blow to Michigan's offense. This guy's a beast of a player. I feel like he should be a guy that should be up for the Heisman this season. I mean, he's putting up really, really good numbers, and he's a key cog in that Michigan offense. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to play or not, and I'm not sure about Travion Henderson, but that's going to be a position to watch for both teams, at the running back position. Michigan has Ronnie Bell, a great player. This guy has 641 yards with 2 touchdowns. Good catcher. Very, very good wide receiver for Michigan. Then Ohio State has Marvin Harrison Jr. This guy is a beast. This guy has 1,037 yards and 11 touchdowns. Michigan's defense is going to have to keep an eye on this guy. He's really, really good at the wide receiver position. So both teams are really, really good. It's going to be a classic matchup of Ohio State's great offense against Michigan's great defense. So it's going to be interesting. Now, I'm going to break down the stats for the game, guys. Points per game, Michigan is averaging 39.4 points per game. Ohio State is averaging 46.5 points per game. So Ohio State has the advantage there, but Michigan is putting up some good numbers, guys. Previous Michigan teams, they had problems with their offense, and they was kind of stagnant on their offenses. But now, ever since last year, they're making a turnaround, and now Michigan has an offense to go with their defense, so it's pretty good. Points per game, Michigan is allowing 11.7. Ohio State is allowing 16.9. So, like I was saying, Michigan has the better defense between the matchup, but Ohio State defense has gotten better under Jim Knowles, and they're doing really, really good, this season. So, of course, I'm going to get into some matchups that they had, and I'm going to, talk about the defense later on, but I'm going to just continue with the stats. Total yards, Michigan is averaging 452.6 per game. Ohio State is averaging 492.7 per game. So Ohio State has the advantage with the offense. If you were to break that down, Ohio State's getting 289 through the air, and they're getting 203 on the ground. That's really, really, really good, guys. Ohio State probably at this point probably has, if not, probably got the #1 offense in the country. So they're a well-oiled machine over there at Ohio State in Columbus. Michigan is, like I said, 452. You break that down, that's 208 through the air and 243 on the ground. So where Michigan is better running the ball, Ohio State is better passing the ball. So 243 on the ground for Michigan is really, really good. But like I said, both teams are, battling injuries at the running back position. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the matchup and who gets to play. Yards allowed for Michigan, they're allowing 241.3 total yards per game. Ohio State is allowing 283.4 per game. So, like I said, Michigan's the slighter better defense. Michigan's only allowing 161 through the air, and they're only allowing 79 yards on the ground. So this Michigan defense is really, really good. Ohio State, I said 283.4. That's 175 through the air, and that's 107 on the ground. That's really good for Ohio State's defense, guys. It's going to be an interesting matchup. Opponents, both teams are undefeated. Michigan beat Penn State 41-17, a great Penn State team. Michigan beat Michigan State 29-7, beating the in-state rivalry, beat them soundly. They beat Rutgers 52-17. They beat Nebraska 34-3. And they had a close win against Illinois. It's a great Illinois team that's been pretty good this season. They beat them 19-17, and Illinois had a really, really good defense, and they was able to hold Michigan State to that low points per game, because Michigan State, like I said, was averaging 39.4. So Illinois played really, really good defense again. That was a defensive slugfest, but Michigan was able to pull it out. It looked like Illinois was going to get the victory, though. So that's what, Michigan's last couple opponents. Ohio State, they beat Iowa 54-10. That score, though, Ohio State struggled that game, but Ohio State seems to just the last quarter just be able to explode offensively. They was able to get out of Iowa. Iowa's a team that doesn't really have a great offensive, output. They're not really, really good on offense. So Ohio State was able to hold them to 10. They beat Penn State. They went to Penn State, beat them 44-31. Penn State was in that game. It was close in that matchup, but like I said, the ball went Ohio State way, and they was able to pull it out. Northwestern, that was a close game. Ohio State beat them 21-7. Northwestern was playing really, really good defensively. So I was starting to see a pattern with Ohio State, was struggling with, teams that play pretty good defense, scheme up really, really good defenses. Ohio State beat Indiana 56-14. I don't think they really struggled that game. They was able to move, the ball offensively in that game. And then their last matchup against Maryland, that game was close. At one point, it was 33-30, and Maryland was in a good position to win that game. But once again, Ohio State, the defense stepped up, and they was able to cause him to fumble the ball and able to knock it up in the air, and they ran it in for a touchdown. So the game was really, really close at the end, but Ohio State pulled it out. So what I'm seeing from Ohio State is, they have the ability to step it up when they have to, offensively and defensively. They just do what they got to do to win the game. If I had to give a prediction for this game, I'm looking at the spread right now. They got it at 7.5 points. I believe this game is going to be close. Michigan was able to beat Ohio State last year, and Michigan was able to get in the playoff. That was the first time, Jim Harbaugh was able to beat Ohio State since he's been the head coach at Michigan. Both teams are undefeated. You got the #2 and #3 team going against each other. Somebody has to lose. A lot of things on the line for this game. Like I said, playing for a playoff position. If I had to make my prediction, I'm going with Ohio State. I think, if I'm not mistaken, yes, the game is going to be played in Ohio. I think Ohio State is going to get this victory. And I wrote down the points I think it's going to be. I got Ohio State winning 31-17. My reason behind that is I'm not sure about Blake Corum. I think they said, I might be wrong, but I think they said he has a ankle injury or something like that. If Michigan doesn't have him, that's going to be a huge blow to Michigan's offense. And to me, Ohio State just has, the guys they got a lot of explosive guys on the offense. And they got C.J. Stroud back there. In my opinion, he's a way better quarterback than J.J. McCarthy. I think that's what it comes down to. Home advantage, better quarterback, the better offensive weapons. And then I think Michigan has the better defense between the two teams, but Ohio State defense is not as bad as people think. I'm looking at the schedule. Yeah, the only games where Ohio State really allowed a lot of points was against Penn State and Maryland for the most part. That's 2 games. Every other game, the defense was playing really, really well. The defense has a knack for getting turnovers as well. I think if it gets in a position where Michigan turns the ball over, this game is going to get out of hand. It could definitely be a blowout. But at the same time, Michigan is the best, in my opinion, the best offense that Ohio State has played. So this game could go either way, guys. But I'm picking Ohio State to win it. Like I said, 31-17. I don't think Michigan is going to be able to score as much. I think Ohio State is going to be able to, for the most part, contain the run, especially if Blake Corum doesn't play. Blake Corum is going to play a major part, I think, in Michigan's offense. But I don't think Michigan can play catch up if they get behind against Ohio State. And you got to be a team that can be able to score Ohio State, because they're very, very explosive on the offensive side of the ball. And then they have a better defense this year than they had last year. So I got Ohio State winning the game. But what do you guys think? Am I wrong? Give me your thoughts, opinions in the comment section. And once again, guys, if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll definitely be back with more college football content. Thanks, guys, and roll tide.